Welcome to the Marco Guerrero Presents Fun with Autographs with co-host Michael Berkowitz.
What's up, everybody? I
Woo-hoo.
went this way. I forgot that's like kind of mirrored, so I went like this way to be like, yeah, it's Marco, and then I was like, whoa, it's this way.
You know, we practiced this like 10 times off screen, and he
I know.
couldn't get it any of the times.
I swing both ways. So
There you go.
let me try to pull up everybody's comments here. So give me a second to get that going.
I will
All
do the
right, we
same. I'll be
got
checking YouTube's comments.
yeah. As always, Marco monitors YouTube. I monitor the bunker and box pop and beauty because for some reason they go separate. I don't know why. Facebook's weird.
I mean, I'm sure if I spend some more time. I mean, we got uh, Ulysses Morningstar here on YouTube.
Ooh, hello.
What's up, brother? So, how do we sound, everybody? Let us know so we can
It
check the
looks like
audios.
seems pretty good to me. I haven't heard myself yet, but seems pretty good.
Let me check to see if I got your audio set right.
Yep, I hear myself now.
Okay.
All right, we're good.
We're good? Okay.
That looks good. Let me give a little shout out in the comments. Hey, everybody. And give one over here. Hey, everybody. Cool. All right,
I
man.
think that should be a song. Hey, everybody.
It's our next one of your next many projects.
You know what I'm obsessed with lately?
Uh-oh.
Like having in the background. You know, Firefly has always been one of my favorite series. It's probably one of the only things that I've watched over and over and over again. You know, like some people, they watch the same movies and the same shows over and over again. I can't do that. Like, unless I'm showing it to somebody else for the first time.
Yeah.
But I found a bunch of Firefly reaction videos where people watch the episodes and react to it for the first time.
Okay.
And so I've been obsessed with watching those on YouTube. Like, okay, what's this person going to think of,
That sounds so different. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
And, you know, I'm really good at like finding out the foreshadowing and like picking out, like my mind works by picking out what's not supposed to be there.
Okay.
So like all of a sudden somebody shows up like, I know this person. This person's obviously the killer because they wouldn't bring this person in and like budget wise unless they were the killer.
Yeah.
Or like, okay, why are they showing this scene at the dock? It has nothing to do with the main storyline unless it has something to do with like the final twist.
You're picking up the story building.
Yeah, like the stuff that they have to put in there to justify whatever the ending is. Like, haha, we did put it in there. You just missed it. And you're like, well, this makes no sense. It's like, this is a round scene in a square show.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and then I'm like, okay, I get it. So, like, I think I'd be like the worst person to watch stuff with because I'd be like, 5 minutes in, yeah, that's the killer. And that's why I was such a big fan of the Vampire Diaries because that was one of the only shows that I could never guess what was coming.
Okay.
Mainly because they would go through like 3 seasons worth of storylines, or like a season's worth of storyline, like all within like 3 episodes.
Okay.
So, like for instance, there was an episode where they bring Gina Torres. Damon goes to the bar, right? Like on this little trip, and Gina Torres is the bartender. I'm like, oh my god, Gina Torres is now going to be the big bad of the season, right? Like they're setting this up. This is just a slight introduction. Like a few episodes later, we're going to find out that she's like the puppet master behind everything. And then like 2 minutes in, Damon kills her. I'm like, you brought Gina Torres in for 2 minutes
just scene
as a bartender just to kill her off.
Yep.
You know, they would do stuff like that. Like okay, this person's going to do this, this, and this, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're dead. Like, well, what just happened?
Yeah. They had kind of like just so many kind of like, not really cameos, but just like appearances. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just like, hey, I was on the show.
But I mean, especially that first 3 seasons. I kind of stopped watching Vampire Diaries after like the fourth season, I think. But yeah, I think it was like the fourth or fifth season. It was like the whole originals arc. I think right around that, and then I think the original spinoff. I think that was around when I stopped watching.
I'm just so into. We finished those. We're catching up. I think we talked about it before. We're catching up right now on the CW superhero shows. About a year behind, waiting for Supernatural's final episodes to start airing, and then I guess we could talk. We got the end of this month. We got Mandalorian's back.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
You know what? Remember how we were talking about that story about with Pedro Pascal?
Yeah, the fake news one.
It wasn't fake.
What?
It turns out that it was true, but I think it was George Lucas or somebody stepped in to talk to Pedro, right?
Okay.
So Pedro is now just going to be voice acting the character.
So he isn't gonna. Because he's like, why do I have to show up, get in costume?
Right, like that's why he's out doing promotion, because now like his contract going forward is going to be he's just voicing the character, and then when it comes time to for any scenes with the helmet off or whatever,
if it ever happens,
yeah, like he will be there for that.
I wonder if they're gonna pull like a. You think they're gonna do something like pull like a Smallville, where the last episode is the one he takes his helmet off?
Well, he's already taken his helmet off, and he took it off.
I mean, like that you see him.
Well, no, didn't they do that in the end of the first season when he goes into the hut by himself? He takes his helmet off.
No, I don't think you ever actually see him.
Yeah, you do.
You do?
Yeah.
Are you sure you see his face?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing his face. I remember him taking his helmet off.
He takes his helmet off. You see his face, and he
him.
looks out the window.
I remember him looking out the window. I just don't remember actually seeing him, though.
Well,
like, you never actually see his face.
I'm going to have to go back and take a look at that, because
People in the comments, which one of us is remembering this right? I remember you see him take his helmet off,
right,
but you never actually see him. You just know he took it off on his own. But did they actually show Pedro, or is it am I forgetting that they actually showed him? Oh, Karen said, yeah, we saw his face. I don't remember that.
Yeah, definitely saw it. But
it was so traumatic to me that I blocked it out.
Well, see, I don't know a lot about the Mandalorian lore, so I didn't even know that helmet thing was a thing until, like, the show. Like, Star Wars was one of those movies, maybe just because I came to it late in life, where I saw it. I was like, this is cool. And then kind of...
Well, I mean, like, and also if you think about it, with just you have to go into the lore to learn about that, because they never really went into the lore of who or what Boba Fett was.
Right.
They were like, oh, here's this cool bounty hunter character, and we kill him off.
What did I see the other day? Like, it was like the reverse. They showed like Harrison Ford, like, here he is as a bounty hunter, and he's like an evil guy, but he really doesn't do anything evil. And then you have like Han Solo, and then you have which is Han Solo. Then you have him in something else where he actually is evil or something. I don't know. It was like two different things. It's like one was obviously evil, but they portrayed him as the good guy, and the other was like he's evil, but he's actually didn't do anything evil.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we have to talk about this now, because we've got controversy happening in different chats.
Okay.
So we've got Ryan Dix in the Box Pop and Beauty chat doesn't remember seeing his face.
Right.
So now that's two that don't remember seeing his face. But Karen not only sees his face, but Pedro Pascal is not sexy enough for her.
Okay.
So she was disappointed. So we've got two different controversies. One,
did she not watch
Pedro
him in Game
Pascal,
of Thrones?
I don't know, Karen. Did you watch Game of Thrones with him? I've talked about this many times on our channel. I have watched the first episode of Game of Thrones, fell asleep at the beginning of the second episode, and I have never tried to do it again. It was, in my opinion, it was an awful premiere. It just, I don't know. It felt like I missed the first 5 seasons.
Really?
Yeah,
let me ask you this.
Hmm.
during the week that you watched it, right? How was like were you having a good week, a bad week? Was it a normal week, or
I was having a
was
great
there
week.
something in your life that was? Because see, sometimes I bring my personal life, into the shows that I watch. So if I'm having a really bad day and I try to start a new series or try to set something, sometimes I let that bleed into it. I mean, God, I can't get into the show, and it's not because of the show. It's just because of my mood or whatever it was that day.
Oh. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I was not having any issues, day wise. I think my problem I think with it was, and I don't get really lost on shows, but it just seemed like it was like here are these characters, and if you didn't read the book, you'll figure out who they are later.
I don't know if see to me, I always give shows 4 episodes, right?
Maybe that's what I and that might be my
I
problem.
mean,
But a lot of people told me afterwards too. They're like, you need to get through the first season. Like get through the first season and then it gets really good.
yeah.
And I'm like, that's a lot of hours of waiting for it to get
I just
really good.
I don't know. To me, like I said, I have the 4 episode rule, and I always tell this people every time we started this with Firefly, right? Every
Okay.
time I used to give everybody because I have like 10 copies of the DVDs, and I would always give them out, and I'd say, just I'm going to give this to you, but the only requirement is you have to watch the first 4. You have to make it to Shindig. Once you hit Shindig, if you're not a fan, then yeah, do it, give it away to somebody else and stop watching. And I
Okay.
have not had one person who's made it that far and stopped.
But see, even I feel like even Firefly, that first episode had this incredible character introduction of each character and building. And I feel like Game of Thrones was kind of like I missed the first two chapters.
Well, you also have to understand. Okay, one of the way, like you said, you never read the books, right? So in the
No.
books, the chapters are written like from the perspective of a single character, right?
Okay.
Like they're telling a single character story, and then in a couple, then another chapter is from another character. There's a lot of characters, and there's a lot of stuff going on in different places of the world at the same time. It's even so much so that 2 of the books, right, will take
Yeah.
half of the characters, they tell their story, and then the next book is that same timeline of the other book, but from the other character's point of views, from
Okay.
a different parts of the world. So even in the books, it can get kind of hectic. That's why the audiobooks by Roy Dotrice were
Mm-hmm.
so amazing because it's world record, but he voiced every single character with a unique voice in that series of the audiobooks.
Okay.
But like I said, with that episode, you're really starting off with the Starks, right? You're telling the story of
Yeah.
the Starks in that first episode, right? And they do hint at some of the stuff, and you'll have the White Walker scene, which is will drive you nuts for like 5 seasons. Like, why was that scene there? And they don't come back to it for like 5 or 6 seasons or something like that. It's definitely worth watching. It's
All right. I'll have to. I will try to retry to watch it. It just, um, I don't know. Like I said, it just felt like like I said, it felt like I was supposed to know who they were,
right.
and they just expected me to know, and I was just lost. And then because I was so lost and trying to figure out the first episode, I almost like instantly fell asleep at the second episode. An update to the Mandalorian controversy that we
Created.
um that we've created. We're both kind of wrong. So he doesn't show his face in the hut scene when he takes his helmet off. He shows his face after he gets beat up and IG-11 saves him. And because IG-11's a robot, he can show his face.
Okay.
So we see his face all beat up is when we see his face.
I just had a great
Um,
idea.
what's that?
We need to do a reaction video, you and me watching Game of Thrones. Can even bring Kindle in, like you, me, and Kindle. We just
Kendall wanted to watch it too. And I know like I said, I know like eventually you get tons of like blood and gore and death and and sex and all that stuff come. But even Kendall was like, I think the first episode, all you have is like a rape scene. Isn't that
No.
Khal Drago or whatever? Not Khal Drago. What's his name? Jason Momoa.
Khal Drogo's character, yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't he just he rapes that girl in the first episode?
I don't know. I have to go back. I mean, it's been, many, many, many years since I watched that first episode. From my memory, I thought the first episode mainly circled around the Starks and the king coming.
I think it did, but then there was also that whole thing of that girl being given to him as a bride.
Right, but I could have thought that was a couple episodes more in, but
I think I remember that in the first one. Anyway,
Amelia Clark's character.
Yeah. So,
well, I know that there's the incest tower scene.
I think that was there too. First episode. It was just weird. It was just like I said, it was a weird first episode. Everybody else. The funny thing though also is universally everybody's like, you got to give it like a few episodes or you got to give it the first season, but the ending sucks.
But like, see, well, I disagree with the ending sucking. Like the ending was the only way they could have ended it, but I won't go too much into it, But to me, I've tried to write stuff, just for fun, and endings are hard because you want to fan service people, right? But you also want to write it how or how you thought it would logically end. Mm-hmm. And I think if they would have had more time, I think that was the problem, because they were getting to be like $10 million an episode towards that last season.
Yeah. Or
even like way more than that. I had to look it up. I mean, it was something crazy. It was like they were filming a movie every week. And budget-wise. And that's why like the last season I think was only 6 or 8 episodes. Put like 2 seasons worth of storyline into that. And I think if they would have had a little bit more time,
I noticed, I don't know if you do you watch the CW superhero shows or no?
I watch them when I can. I stopped. The only one I really don't watch is Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay. So I noticed this season that we're on right now, which I think is this last season that we're on that we're watching on
Arrow?
Netflix to catch up. I noticed that the episode, there's only so a typical season, I feel like for a CW show is about 21 episodes, 22 episodes. Yeah. And these are down to 18, 19, which I wonder if it was a budget thing because they did that Crisis on Infinite Earths story arc and they blew a lot of the budget on that. So they cut 2 episodes of each show.
Yeah.
Or it seemed interesting that it seems like they shortened the seasons. Maybe like you're talking about budget wise, they were like, okay, if we're going to pay all of these stars to come back, we're going to cut 2 episodes each show. And then Arrow, the final season of Arrow was only like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a lot to do with budget and timing. And, a lot of people want to move on to their next projects and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
I think because of Netflix and other streaming things, studios are realizing that they can get away with 8 to 10 episodes or 12 episodes in a season. Mm-hmm. What I can tell you is the reboot of DC with Stargirl.
Yeah.
Which, originally was on the DC app. Stargirl is amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they just premiered Swamp Thing, but isn't the Swamp Thing that they're showing on CW
canceled?
Just the exact show that they already showed on?
It is. There's only 8 episodes, and they cut it halfway through.
Yeah, so I guess CW's picking up all of these. So basically, the DC universe is now split to CW and HBO.
Right. Like the stuff that
CW's picking up the television universe, and HBO's picking up the movie universe.
Yeah, well, DC, there's also Doom Patrol, which is really good, but they could never air Doom Patrol on CW.
Well, I know they can't also air the Harley Quinn cartoon
just because of the language and all that. Did you watch Doom Patrol?
I haven't watched Doom Patrol. My buddy wants
You're a
me. My
huge
buddy has
Alan
a
Tudyk
login.
fan,
He
and
wants me to
you've
watch it.
not watched Doom Patrol. He's like one of the best things about that show.
What?
Alan Tudyk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know.
He plays the
I've heard.
villain.
I've heard he's great in it.
Yeah, he plays the villain, Mr. Nobody.
Yeah. So I need to watch Doom Patrol. The other one I want to watch, so here's a funny story. So I saw this, like, for some reason I had this YouTube recommended video, and it literally was like popped up on my thing. We recommend YouTube the first time Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy have sex. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, what are you recommending to me? And I legit thought it was like a fan made cartoon, like a fan made thing.
Right.
Like where they, and I'm like, this can't be real. And so I text my buddy, I'm like, is there a Harley Quinn cartoon on the DC universe? He's like, yeah, and it's filthy. He's like, it is the raunchiest cartoon ever.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to watch that one. I still need to watch the next season of Doom Patrol. I think I'm about.
Yeah.
I think I watched season 2. I think season 3 is out or it's not out. I'd have to double check, but it's a pretty cool show.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. There's just so much. I mean, and now with I know there's a Zobi's got the Dexter signing coming up, so Kendall wants me. Dexter's another one I've never watched, so Kendall wants me to watch Dexter. There's just so many shows.
Dexter's good. It's good. I have a cast sign piece that I got from Paley somewhere.
But that's another one where everybody's like, it's a great show. The ending sucked.
Again, I don't. I'm like, but see, I'm the same person that like defended George Lucas in the prequels because I'm like, dude, it's his movie, it's his story. You know what I mean? Like, if this is what he wants to do with it, then that's him. Like, you can like it or not like it, but you can't. You know what I mean? Like, he wanted to be like, I want to write this, but you're not a writer, but you earn the right to write it, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's why I like that they turned it over to like all the new stuff to the next generation. They kind of grew up.
I will say so. Karen just said The Boys. She recommends it, and I agree. If anybody has not watched The Boys, it is dirty, gory, raunchy. It is just, I can never, after watching, I tell anybody, watch the first episode of the first season and you will never look at The Flash the same way again. Because, have you watched that one?
I've watched the first season of The Boys. I've been waiting until I'm in, like I said, I've got to be in the right mood to watch certain things. And so, like, I haven't watched Umbrella Academy and I haven't watched The Boys season 2 yet.
I don't know. I mean, maybe
Umbrella
I'm
Academy
just weird.
season 2.
Yeah, maybe I'm just weird. I just had never thought of what happens if the Flash runs through somebody.
Yeah.
And then now I can't unthink it.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me, like, did you ever read a series of books by Brandon Sanderson? It's called, let's see. First, there was Calamity. There was, I'd have to look it up. But basically, there's this giant red orb that kind of shows up in the sky, right?
Okay.
And a certain percentage of the population gains superpowers.
Okay.
And everybody starts, praising this, like, hey, we have superheroes now. And then there's like this big one, he's like Superman, his body's like steel, like, and so the very first scene of the book is this little kid is in a bank with his dad trying to get a loan. But he can't get a loan because some superheroes were in a fight or something, and they damaged his house, and they couldn't afford to, like, the insurance wouldn't cover it, and blah, 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 so they were going to lose their house.
Okay.
And then this guy shows up and robs the bank, and he has this ability to, everybody he touches turns to ash.
Okay.
And so he's going around, and he's just killing people and taking money, and he sees the kid and his dad, and the dad jumps in front of the kid, and the kid's dad grabs a gun, and then this Steelheart powers into the building, You know, he's like Superman. He's invincible. He's like the leader of all superhero type guys, right?
Yeah.
Flies into the building. He's like, "How dare you, you know, rob up, you know, this place on in my territory, blah blah blah," and then he like kills the dude, right? And then proceeds to rob the bank and kill everybody, and then like the dad like shoots him, and somehow like the character bleeds, you know, but he's not
Okay.
supposed to bleed, right? And so like he ends up destroying like the entire building and everybody in it, except for like the little kid somehow escapes. And so like the story starts out like the very first line is like, "I saw Steelheart bleed,"
Oh,
and then
that's
it fast
cool.
forwards like 10 years later, and the kid doesn't have superpowers, but super powered people all become dicks, and they all rule the world, and they do it mafia style. They each like split up different parts of territories,
Yeah.
and then there's like this group that goes around trying to kill them, like an underground group. And this kid's kind of like studies superheroes and tries to find out their weakness.
You'll have to tell me the name of those books because that sounds really good. So that kid almost sounds like a Billy Butcher type character.
Could be, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That sounds really cool. Doug says, "What's up, fellas?" Doug from CSR Collectibles. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, that sounds really
But I
good.
think seriously, I think we should do a Game of Thrones reaction series.
we might need to do something like
I mean,
that.
they're addicting. Like I said, especially with Prime now. Prime has
Yeah.
a thing. If you both people have Prime, they can live stream together on Twitch
Now there you
and
go.
watch them together on Twitch. But like we'll have to decide like each episode, like how much do you want me to like tell you if you're right or wrong, if, what your thoughts are, and then I can just be like, okay, I see where you're going. I'm not gonna tell you if you're right or wrong, but I see that line of thinking, and you know those that are like it's weird, like especially like you know. When you have like guests over and your parents and you're trying to watch it, like yeah, don't really watch it with your parents, type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's definitely like the boys is very similar.
Yeah, it's
So,
well, and the funny thing is the boys' TV show is toned down from the books.
oh yeah, I heard, I saw, I know that my buddy was telling me because I was talking about reading the books, and he's like, yeah, I wanted to do it too, and he's like, but I've heard that they're pretty bad, and he said, I guess so that the first episode of the first season with what happens with Starlight and the Deep,
Right.
I guess that actually was like all of the other six
Yeah,
of the
it was like
seven
a whole
actually
like
do that
yeah,
to her.
it was yeah, the show is very like I said, the show's tame compared to the books.
Yeah, it's did you see the movie? Since we're on this, did you ever see Brightburn,
I saw yeah, the where the kid is like the
where if
Superman.
Superman was bad?
Yeah.
That I love that, and I really hope that he comes back and makes Brightburn 2 after kind of introduce. He almost like the end credit scene where it kind of introduces the Justice League. Did you see
I
that
don't know if I
part?
finished watching it.
Oh, it's great. At the end, it's like news reports of all over the world, and you have like an evil Aquaman and an evil Wonder Woman, and it's great.
They, they
Um,
did announce today that Wonder Woman 84 is going to go directly to streaming.
oh, they are gonna finally do that. I saw. Did you see? I guess we'd be remiss not to talk about. Did you see the news that happened this week? Kind of crazy. So, the new James Bond film got pushed back to April of next year,
Right.
and immediately Regal Cinema says we're done.
Yeah, there's just no movies coming out.
Yeah, which is it. But the thing is like I'm seeing. I don't think it's that there's not new movies coming out. It's that there's not big draw, and then the ones that are coming out, they're releasing simultaneously online also.
I mean,
So like there's a new movie coming out, Love and Monsters, which looks a lot of fun.
yeah,
I don't know if you've seen the trailer
I
for it,
did.
but Love and Monsters looks like a lot of fun. but it's releasing simultaneously in theaters and streaming.
Yeah, but this
So a
was
lot of people
always
are
the
like, why don't I
plan,
just watch it at
right?
home?
This was always the plan. Theaters theaters have been fighting with studios for a while now, and
Yeah.
now with streaming, and this would have happened a decade ago if cable companies hadn't been fighting the whole a la carte system,
Okay.
right? Because there's been, all of the big media conglomerates were fighting against the whole being able to pay your cable bill like a la carte. Like I just want HBO or I just want like the sports channels. I don't need these 150 channels. I just need these
Yeah.
five. Like what would my price be for these five? And with kind of the whole point of crypto and decentralization, once the internet came out and once quality came out and once people were trained enough to with Netflix to stream stuff, and they saw that people were actually starting to buy things,
Mm-hmm.
right, and subscribe to stuff. They realized, okay, we don't need movie theaters. Like,
Yeah. It's not going to be much longer before. I mean, I would say right now you probably got about 40 to 60% of not just I'm not talking about just like streaming TV platforms like AT&T has its own streaming TV platform now, not the like Sling TV, not those, but literally the networks now each have their own subscription
well, yeah, and
package.
they used to all own a piece of Hulu, right?
Yeah.
And then Disney bought up all of their pieces because they all
Yeah.
kind of want to go separate. But the thing is that's the thing is, right now they're all going and trying to do their own. But what's going to happen is like DC, they'll
Hmm.
go, it won't hit, and then they get swallowed up, right? So
Yeah,
eventually,
so
it'll be crazy at first, but eventually it will condense. But what's going to happen is Disney, Netflix will buy out Regal, Universal will buy out AMC
mm,
theaters, and then what they'll do is because then they won't need to pay the fees for the theaters, right? And then
yeah.
they can basically show the movies simultaneously and make money doing both, right? Because there's still going to be a population that wants to go to the theater and the people that want to stay at home, right? And
Yeah.
watch it at home. So what you do is eventually, like I said, Netflix will buy up a theater company, Universal will buy up a theater company, you know, and then they will all just run their movies in the theaters. Actually, will probably make the movies cheaper, and it'll work out, but it'll just take time. If
Yeah, they and the other thing that I see what's going on here too with that whole thing is interestingly enough is that so we have in Medford we have Cinemark, which is I think the third biggest
right,
movie theater brand. Anyway, we have Cinemark, and Cinemark they've been open now for a couple months, month and a half, too. We also have a smaller theater that's I think just Pacific Northwest area called Coming Attractions. And Coming Attractions Theater, they're pulling in um, international movies, Sundance films, but Cinemark's kind of like doing all these comeback
well,
classics.
that's the thing is they just had the battle or the what's the movie Battle Angel Attila or whatever is
Hmm.
going to come back to theaters for a week.
Yeah. So they're doing like these comeback classics. Like when RBG passed away, they brought back the two RBG movies. And right now you can go see Hocus Pocus, which to me, I don't understand the draw of that. Maybe we have people in the comments who like that to go to the theater and see a movie. I know Robert Wells is a local friend of mine. He was watching. He just did it. I'm not. I'd rather take my Hocus Pocus and stream it on my TV at home.
Yeah.
Theater to see new films to have that in theater experience for the new
Well,
film.
it circles back to what I spoke about when this all started, right?
Yeah.
About how some people see some films over and over and over again. And if you've seen the same movie, Hocus Pocus, if say you watch it every 6 months or once a year, and then you do that at home all the time, but now you have a chance to go see like a 4K version in the theater or an 8K, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's that draw.
There is that drop. But again, the prices in the theaters, were digging themselves in a hole, right? Like people complained about Mulan being $30, right? But when I watched Mulan, I had some family visiting. There was like 12 people over here, right? And I have, 120-inch screen and a 4K projector, right? And so we all sat around, like for all 12 of us to go to the movie theater would have been like $80, maybe $200, right?
Yeah, you're looking at for a new film back in, I mean, at a good theater, you're looking at $12 to $15 a ticket.
Right. And so we all sat and we watched it. And then not only did we get to watch it, but then my sister got to watch it later because the way they did it was basically you just unlock the film. And now anytime I want to watch it, it's on my Disney. I mean, it's not like I just had the 24 hours to watch it or, so I mean, it's not a bad thing. It's just a different thing. Right.
Rick and Josh both are saying the same thing, but basically, amazing job on my October photo. We're not talking about it yet, though, guys, because there are people that are still getting them, and they're international people. So we'll probably talk about this October photo at the end of November.
But you will have a video coming out, your unboxing of it, though.
I do. That's coming out tomorrow. Tomorrow, our video comes out. So if you did not order any of the variants and you want to see everything, including a bonus that Marco is very nice enough to do, definitely look for our video. And something weird happens during our video that you'll want to stay tuned for also.
If we want to, I did prepare a little bit, if we want to talk about curated boxes.
Yeah, let's do it. My wife's not here, so we can talk about what I did because I'm going to get in trouble.
All right. So let's see here. Let me do this. So basically, we're doing a curated box, right? And I've done these before. Basically, you pick out a price point. I broke it up and I even named them core box, deluxe box. Before I used to just have like, if buy 4 core boxes or buy 5, whatever you bought was the kind of the price point I tried to hit value, and exceed value wise.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, you pick out a box. We have the core box, the deluxe box, the supreme box, and a truly epic box. Once you order it, I'll send you at some point a questionnaire to fill out. You fill out the questionnaire so I can get a sense of the kind of things that you like. And then I go back and kind of see what you've ordered before from me, what you haven't ordered, and then I make a box unique to you for the most part, I have things that I've collected over the last 15 years, some very unique stuff and that I can fill up the boxes with, and just a lot of fun stuff. And so I just try to do this at least once a year, and I thought I'd get a jump, and I'll probably leave this up all month. That's why I didn't put the timer this time, because I'm just going to kind of leave this up.
Is this going to be kind of are you going to, so if people don't know, this is basically the first year that I've discovered Marco and Autograph of the Month Club and been a part of it. But I do know, I've heard from the community that you've done some pretty amazing Black Friday things before. But is this going to kind of be your holiday deal?
I think this is going up to the holiday deal. I might do something different for the holiday deal. Like last year for a holiday deal, I did something similar to what I did with I think with the pre-order for the year type of thing. Like I do something a little bit different all the time,
Okay.
So it's one of those things that part of my ADHD is I procrastinate. like almost, it's very self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
And like literally with this box, I think it was yesterday or the day before that I finally settled on the price and the format.
No, yeah, I've noticed you and I off of surprise some people. Marco and I talk pretty much daily off of here, but him and I will talk about things, and he'll like spitball ideas at me, and I'll give him kind of feedback on what I think of the ideas, and he'll be like, "Yeah, this is what I'm gonna do," and then like the day before it's needed, he's like, "All right, now I'm gonna do it."
Well, the thing is, it's just it goes back in my mind. Like I have a bunch of things that
Yeah,
that I would sell at shows for like $600, right?
yeah,
But then again, it's just like, can you put those in a mystery pack? And it's just $600, and then we have the discussion that I have with mystery boxes
hmm,
that value is subjective,
absolutely,
and so that's why like I don't like to put guaranteed value or something on these boxes because what you might value at $100, I might value at $200 or at $10. You know what I mean? Or
hmm,
$0. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's very subjective, and and that's why I like doing the curated boxes and kind of because if I'm a fan, or maybe somebody who's a fan or whatever, and I can get you something unique or special that I know you're gonna like. To me, that's worth a lot more. And if you ask people who've done a lot of my stuff in the past, that's what I try to shoot for. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I struggle with making these boxes because values are all over the place, right? And it's just it's really hard to make those type of guarantees.
I think the curated part helps that though, because like, so let's talk about something I've said in our videos, and like I said, we have our October videos coming out tomorrow. Um, People have hopefully seen our September video, August, all the way back to when we were doing it. And I've said consistently that the ones that you've been sending out have been personal grails from Pan's Labyrinth, Annabelle. Can't talk about the September one yet, but the September one. Can't talk about the October one yet, but the October one. I mean, if those autographs that I'm getting from you for $20, I'm not getting those in some of these other boxes. Now, that being said, we filmed our Zobi box. And I know for a lot of people, the autograph that was in that Zobi box is an awesome autograph. For me, it's an awesome autograph. Like you said, it's totally subjective to where somebody can open one of yours. I think we had it. We had, didn't you have people gave you grief for the Pan's Labyrinth autograph, right? Where I'm like, this is one of the best autographs I've ever gotten. It's an instant grail for me. But at the same time, for somebody else, they're like, Pan's Labyrinth, what the hell is that? Like, they don't have that same appreciation for the beauty of that movie.
Right. Yeah, it's a tough business, you know what I mean? And that's why, like I said, that's why I'm comfortable at $20 with everything that I put out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the cost of the photo, the cost of paying the actor, the cost of just the time involved, $20 is a steal in my mind.
It is. And for me, I've said it consistently. I'm not bashing other companies. I love all the companies that we support on the channel. But when we buy these boxes that are autograph boxes, it's for the autograph. No. We don't collect pins. I barely collect props, mostly because of Kendall. Doesn't let me. Those other bonus items that kind of... So yours is 20, theirs are 40, 60, if we took away and just was the autograph, then I'm comparing it, and the autograph is the most important thing. So when I'm getting those higher price point boxes, I want the autograph to match that price point, not the extras inside. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's why I've always looked at it. I mean,
yeah. So that's why I love the $20 a month, because for me, $20 a month, it's not that much. It's like 3 1/4 Starbucks.
I love how everybody nowadays, like, you have money, right? Like $1, $50,
Yeah.
but everybody the go-to now is Starbucks coffee.
Oh yeah, that's
the standard. Like how much is this? Well, it's about 5 cups of Starbucks.
Yeah, that's the currency. The currency is how many Starbucks? How many days can you not go to Starbucks to go out for a nice dinner?
Yeah.
Karen, I think she's kind of asking a question. She's a horror fan.
Okay.
So do you have, if she was to buy a curated box, do you have horror in your collection?
I do.
There you
And
go.
I have some cool things. It's just, it depends on if your horror tastes and mine line up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I have some to make it worthwhile. It's like I said, I have a lot of unique things, so I'm pretty sure that I can find something to make every box enjoyable.
Doug from CSR just said it best. No one should complain about getting any signed photo for $20. Not just any signed photo, but an authenticated signed photo. And I don't know if people have talked about it on our videos now. We've talked about it on here. If you haven't, with your photo, when you get your autograph of the month, if you haven't gone to Truly Authentic and checked it out and seen how professional the setup is with the photo of the person signing, I mean, yes, people put their value in, JSA, PSA, Beckett, and ACOA. Those are where people put their value in right now. But I can tell you, my Beckett and my JSA doesn't show me Truly Authentic authentication does.
Well, the one thing
I can find out more stuff from Truly Authentic than I can from JSA and Beckett.
Well, I mean, one advantage that I have is I put myself out there, right? So it's not like other COAs, like the one somebody was showing the other day, where it's a generic name with no name on it. It's a PO box. I put my name on everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
I make myself visible. You can get a hold of me, and it's and on the site I don't do third-party authentication, right? So I'm at the signing, or somebody I know and trust was at the signing, right?
Yeah.
So it's and so
So you also get to input all the details about the signing, location,
date,
time. Yeah, you get to put all that in there because there's no, all of it. That's the other thing though. What kind of blows my mind about it, and obviously it's all about reputation and things like that. I get it, and I'm not going to say which authentication company. I'm not going to throw shade at them. I will just say the story of what happened. We got an autograph recently, and we checked the authentication, and it comes back Lady Gaga. Now, this is not a Lady Gaga autograph, not even close to a Lady Gaga autograph. But the sticker and the certificate are coming back to Lady Gaga. And that's they do so much. And when you do a non-witness authentication, it's kind of like it makes you, and I've had a Beckett authenticated item before that was not real.
Yeah, I mean, like, in their opinion, I'm not talking again. It's a science, right? But you have any artist 30 minutes with a signature, and they'll sign it better than probably the person signing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's that's why it's all about reputation, right? Like it's know who you're buying from. If it sounds too good to be true, most of the time, do your research, find out who things are from, But yeah, like I said, it's a science. That's why, like me, I don't do third party authentication. Like you can't send stuff to me and I'll put a truly authentic sticker on it because again, it's all about reputation. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
It's I don't trust myself enough to know whether or not it's real. And I can make a guess. What I usually do is I see, has this person signed a trading card for a company, like a legit company, right? And I like to matches up, type of thing. Where are their marks consistent at? Like there might be different ways that they sign, but there's usually at least 2 or 3 points that are very consistent, and stuff like that. But again, I couldn't say I could be like, yeah, I think this one's 70% or 80%. You know what I mean? But since I wasn't there, I can't be 100%.
So Doug from CSR, he tells people don't buy mystery boxes if you're going to be disappointed. Completely agree with that. You have to recognize that you might not like what you get, but you're buying a mass, not really mass produced, but you know what I mean, like a mass. It's a net. Like so a perfect example. Kendall does if you watch our channel, Kendall does the beauty boxes from BoxyCharm. She used to do Live Glam, and she gets makeup all the time that she's just like, I'm not going to use that because it's not a makeup box for her.
Right.
It's a makeup box for, I don't know, BoxyCharm is probably like 20,000 people, maybe more. So it's the same thing with mystery boxes. You're not going to just get an autograph that's for you.
At the same time, right? Like I have things that are worth, that are just truly unique and special.
Yeah.
Right? That to me, the value is anywhere from $600 to $1,000. Stuff that have actually sold for that much, right?
Yeah.
And I would love to be like, here, I have our boxes do, like a case. Like one card in the case is worth $1,000, but all the other cards are worth $1.
Yeah.
Like I would love to be like, here's this $700 item, and it's in one of these 20 boxes. The other 19 suck ass, but you have a 1 in 20 shot at this one item.
Well, that's a completely, so now you're talking about two different kinds of mystery boxes though. So, what I was talking about more is like your style, Zobi, Bam box, even to some extent, kind of CSR has been doing it lately, where CSR has been having kind of consistent items, and then there's like some bonuses thrown in. But for the most part, I think in the last one that we did with CSR was amazing. You got the Killer Clowns cast sign clown piece. You got the piece that was either Godzilla or Underworld. You got the Exorcist piece, and then you got the Halloween Ben Tramer piece. So you got those, like everybody, I'm pretty sure consistently got those 4 pieces, and then there were some extras. So that kind of also goes with your style. So like these boxes are, here's a mystery box. You're going to get these items. We hope you like them, but if you don't, you're still getting them for a good value. Right. You're getting a $20 autograph. Yeah. To be upset about getting a $20 autograph that doesn't match right into your collection is silly, because you're getting a $20 autograph. And for you, unless even if you were the best street sig person, my time to get that street sig is worth more than $20.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's like it goes back to the mystery box thing, right? Like, so say I have that $600 item, and I want to put it in a box, right? But I can't put it in an $80 box, because if I make every box worth $80,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I guess if I was selling like 100 or 200 of those boxes, then it's worth dumping 3 or 4 of those like as advertising, right? I guess. But the problem is I don't do the volume that a lot of other places do. Like with a lot of my boxes, I do like maybe 10, maybe 20.
Yeah.
And so I can't afford to put those $600 or $700 items into those $80 or $100 boxes.
And what you're talking about also is, so I think it's interesting that autograph mystery boxes have gone that direction, because the ones that you're talking about are what companies that sell things like Funko and Figpin have to do. Right. So with Funko and Figpin, you have to have a way to unload the normal stuff. And so what you do is you take, like you said, you take $1,000 Funko Pop and you make 1,000 boxes, and you go, guaranteed value in this box is going to be $10, and you only have to pay $15. Well, now they just made $15,000 for the chance at $1,000 Funko Pop.
Right. Now, if I did the volume, and that's how trading cards work, and that's where I came from with trading cards, and you always have these different limited edition ones. This one is only limited to 5. I mean, sports card went the insane route, and they basically just did 100 one of ones in the box. Like each one is a one of one. And so even like one of my trading cards, I used to have which is funny, like say the Game of Thrones, right? When I did my Emilia Clarke, I had 3 different versions of Emilia Clarke, maybe 4. And one of them, the black and gold one, or the black and silver, Rittenhouse actually bought some because she stopped signing. and cut them up and put them in their box for like the final season, of their cards, just so they could have Amelia Clark, like hey, Amelia Clark's in these out of these 100,000 boxes, there is an Amelia Clark autograph in them, you know. And I didn't even know it until like everybody on the board was like, "Hey, Marco, your card's in the box. Your card's in one of the boxes." Like, yeah, they could have also just went onto eBay and paid $200 for it.
Yeah. April said that her favorite autograph isn't worth more than $60, and that's pushing it. See, that's just how subjective this is. Like, I've talked about it before. I think that, we talked about we're making our own Itoya literally just for Autograph of the Month Club, because the Autograph of the Month Club autographs that we've been getting are basically some of our favorite autographs. And I have a piece in our bedroom that the frame that we put on it probably cost 10 times what the autographs are worth, because they are autographs from a local musical that was done in Ashland at the Shakespeare Festival that Kendall and I loved. These people are nobody.
Yeah.
And we spent like a bunch of money together. It's just such a subjective thing.
Yeah, there's people who collect different autographs from different types of stuff. I mean, there's people that I know through the mail actually go through and they mail like veterans and have veterans sign stuff.
That's amazing.
Or like people who are like medal winners, and there's people like all different kinds of people. Like everybody has a niche, like historical ones. That's what
there are people out there who have autograph from Kendall and I.
Yeah. It's I don't know if I did it once or not, but I think at one time I sent something out with my signature on it. But it's one of those things that are popping out there. Like one of these months, it'll just be my autograph. I'm like, hey guys, I just needed the money.
Is it gonna be the scene? It should be the scene of you kissing Kaylee.
Either that, or it's for my cameo on Raising Hope.
I didn't even know about the cameo on Raising Hope.
Yeah, because we haven't made it to that chapter of my life yet on this show.
It's funny. I don't see Stacy in here, but our good friend Stacy Schaefer has his group, the Autograph Dude group, and one of the members of that group did a thing that actually said, "Is there any people in here that have IMDb pages from being in movies?" And the funny thing is that I have credit on IMDb because when I was young, very young, I used to be a lot cuter than I am now. I was in two movies. I was in a Randy Travis music video. So we can just put me in there for Autograph of the Month Club one time. If it doesn't, like, if your person doesn't pan out, you've got me on standby.
There we go. Yeah. So in the season finale, the 1 hour finale of Raising Hope,
it
was the last episode they filmed, and it was a wedding episode. And they brought in all of the actors from like the last 5 years, for the wedding. I got to be a guest at the wedding, and I got to be in the final scene with the dance. They had, was it Randy Travis? No, the guy who did the Top Gun song, Danger Zone.
Ooh.
Danger Zone. What's his?
Oh, Stacy is here. Stacy just popped up and said hi.
Wait, you said his name twice. We don't need to say it a third time, right? What's that guy's name? He did the Danger Zone, Top Gun. He did Kenny Loggins. That's it.
Okay.
So Kenny Loggins, he was playing. He did a cameo in the episode. We played music at the wedding, and so I had won a charity auction. This is back when charity auctions could be had for cheap. Before Omaze and all that kind of stuff just made them impossible to win.
Yeah.
And so not only did I get to like be in the episode multiple times, but I got free reign of the set for 3 days. And it was funny because it was one of the final ones. And so they just said, hey, just walk around the set, have fun. So, I went to wardrobe. They kind of, set me up with a suit and stuff. And I talked to them. I'm like, hey, and I had them go through like the entire wardrobe process, talking to me, like what they did, how they did it. Yeah. Then I went to like this department, talked to them, and they did it. And then like made friends with a lot of the PAs and kind of just got to walk around where like a lot of the extras, they get pinned
Mm-hmm.
up in this room with like no heat, no air, or like no air, and they're just stuck in there until their time to like come out, you know? And here I'm just walking around, you know, doing everything and talking to everybody and got they were filming multiple stuff simultaneously on the set and come towards the end, and it was towards like the rap party and stuff, and they were like they made a point to thank me for my donation, and you know, and it was like, wait a second, I thought you were like an executive, come here to like just talk to it, you know, like because that's the way everybody was being so nice, I guess. But either way, they thought I was like a studio exec, and they were all like interviewing for their next job or something.
See, so we just need to get a high res grab of that from the show.
Yeah, I think there's at least 3 scenes that you can see me in.
Nice.
One of
So we just need a high res of that, and then we get the Marco Guerrero bonus autograph.
And then there was a time that I got to walk the red carpet at the People's Choice Awards.
Okay.
Me and the girl I was with we were right behind Kaylee Koku, who was hosting, and the girl stepped on Kaylee's train because Kaylee had this long train on her dress. But we got to go walk, you know, where all the people are taking photos of us, and then we got, you know, our seats. And it's funny because like when Nina Dobrev went up to accept her reward, you can see me in the background clapping for her.
I used to when we lived in Southern California when I was growing up. My dad actually won a couple of times tickets to like premieres. Like I went to the premiere of Mars Attacks, and I went to the premiere of Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really cool to see you know, we talk all the time about going to conventions and what you take away from interacting with the celebrities, right? We talk about that, about like their personality and stuff, and that's another interesting place to see the celebrities and how they interact. And like I remember specifically Will Smith for Independence Day. He's walking down the red carpet, and this person pulls him aside to interview him, and we're in the stands, like hundreds of people in the stands, and we're all yelling "Will, Will," and he puts his hand up to the interviewer's camera and kind of pushes it away and like gives him like the 1 second thing and runs over and jumps into the stands.
Right.
And it was just like but then you had other people that would just like literally almost like hold a hand up to the crowd to like block their face.
Yeah, you know, but at the same time, right? They're people. Some people,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, depending on my mood, I'm like, just stay away from me. And other times, I'm like, hey, how's it going? You know, let's be friendly. You know what I mean? Like, it's especially like, have I had a long day? Is this like the last thing I might hear just because you know what I mean? Like, is this, you know, this is my job. You know what I mean? And whatnot. And that's why. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the street autographers because a lot of them have that mentality of here, sign 20 things for me, you know, or you're a selfish and you know you're not honoring your fans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've heard some amazing being in that autograph city community. I've heard some pretty amazing stories too. It's so I just find it fascinating to hear about the way certain people act. Like somebody was telling me a story. A street grapher was telling me a story one time of a celebrity that he got, and he was showing me pictures of who it was. And he was like, "Yeah, I got word that he was at a coffee shop, and I saw him leaving the coffee shop, and I went, and he went to a gas station. So I went to the gas station, and I stopped, and I told him, hey, I've got some stuff, and that celebrity got into the passenger seat of this guy's car and just signed everything that he had.
See, there's some like that are cool like that sometimes, you know what I mean? And then there's ones,
but it's totally it's like how you catch that.
right? Well, there's also ones that like people that you know do like the Vancouver sets, right? Like you'll see the same people with the same people over and over again because they've built relationships over the years by being out there every single day, and they're respectful, right? And those are the ones that, you know, are cool. You know what I mean? Like, they have no problem with those. It's just the ones that, like, hound people and then, like, start cursing at them if they don't sign multiple things and just start, you know, just start going up. Like, I used to be part of these different groups on Facebook, like the Autographs 101 and 102, all these different subgroups. and a lot of the times they were just so nasty. Just these threads about how, like people owe them, these
Unfortunate.
signatures, and I've never been a fan of that. That's why, like, I might not pay him a lot, but I pay him something.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
At least for your time. You know what I
right.
mean?
Like it's what I mean. It's because again, actors don't make as much as people think they do. Some do. You know what I mean? Like the A lists and whatnot.
You got to be, yeah, but you have to be like an A lister to be.
And it's a lot like an athlete too. Like these athletes get paid a lot, but they only get paid a lot for 5 to 10 years. Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
and that money's going to last them the rest of their life. You know what I mean? Like, and again, I'm not saying like, oh, this guy got $100 million. We should feel sorry for him. You know what I mean? But but some of these actors, I've seen plenty of times where, well, people don't realize for most actors, getting their second job in Hollywood is harder than getting their first. And that's why, like, I always do this thing, like, pick a show from 10 years ago.
Hmm.
I don't know, pick one.
10 years
Yeah,
ago.
like not the most popular show, but like a mid-popular. Hell, let's take
Oh
Firefly.
God, Firefly's a good one. Or Buffy.
Let's just take Firefly, right?
Okay.
Nathan, right? But what about Sean, Summer? Gina's just Gina, right?
Yeah.
Adam Baldwin hasn't been in much lately since Chuck, right? Oh no, he was in that show on TNT about the last ship or something, I think,
Yeah.
but I never watched it. But take Sean. Alan has done stuff, but it's always been like voice or just small stuff here and there. You know, Summer Glau hasn't been in anything since Terminator, right? And even
Yeah.
that didn't last very long.
The Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles was 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah, and Book has passed away, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. That was the interview that we did with PJ.
Right.
Uh, was so that part at the end of the interview was so funny to me. How he's talking about Nathan and Alan and how I think we were talking about Firefly and coming back and potentially my idea of creating a Firefly universe show and having
Whoa.
the original cast just be in a couple
That
episodes of
was
their own.
my idea, by the way. Go back and watch the
Okay, fine.
episode.
Your idea.
I said you couldn't make a show with the original cast, but you could make a show in the universe, and that's where I was talking about dark matter and.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So
yeah,
yeah, so
get
this
that
idea of the
correct.
show, and then he was talking about, well, he's like, well, Nathan's got his show, what the Rookie, right? He's
Right.
still doing the Rookie, and he's like, Nathan's got his show on NBC, the Rookie,
ABC.
and Alan has his show on Sci-Fi, and it was just the fact that PJ just said it like it was like nothing,
Right.
but that it literally mirrored Con Man still to this
Yeah.
day. It's the same thing. It's that Nathan's this big shot and Alan's on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like you could have the most talent and be like the most talented person ever. Like I
Yeah.
mean, like go back again, take another show, Bones, right?
Hmm.
Even the main star, Emily Desch, or was it Emily Deschanel,
I know you're talking
or is that
about
her
the
sister?
the person, the
Yeah,
female lead
like
alongside David.
what's she done?
Yeah, David's still doing stuff.
David does because he went on to that SEAL 6 show. But a lot of the male
Yeah.
actors from these shows continue on, but a lot of female actors, they don't. They like even when I'm going back and looking for like
Hmm.
actors, I'll see like, hey, look, this person was a big star for 4 years or 3 years. Like
Is the lead that we like, the female lead from Evil? Had she done anything big before Evil,
I'd
or is
have
that
I
kind of
have to look it up, but I don't think so.
yeah? So then you have another example there. It's like if something ever happens to Evil, Mike Coulter is going to keep
Right.
going.
Yeah, it's just men tend to have a little bit more longevity. Leading men,
You want a perfect show of what we're talking about? Lost.
right?
Where is the cast of Lost gone?
Battlestar Galactica. But see, that's my point: is that these people made money for a certain amount of years, right? And that's
Yeah.
where conventions were so important because that's where again. And when you make this money, like when Patrick Gallagher was on here, right? So not only do you make your, let's say, $20,000 an episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have taxes, agent fees, manager fees, gym fees, lifestyle fees because you have to live in the areas, right? Maybe some
Yep.
classes that you take to stay, relevant. You have to go to parties. You have to live that lifestyle, and it's not cheap, right?
Yeah.
And so even though you made $20,000 for 2 or 3 episodes, or let's say 2 seasons, and now the seasons are shorter, right? Seasons are
Mm-hmm.
10 episodes or 12 episodes a year. And again, I'm not saying feel sorry for or anything like that because they're working and they have stuff, but I think in people's minds that these people make way more
Yeah.
than they actually do. You know what I mean? Like it's unfortunately,
Even you don't even have to look. Now that I'm thinking about what you're saying, you don't even have to look back that far. I mean, look at things like The Office.
right?
Look at things like Big Bang Theory. Like that that's been off the air now for what, 2 years?
Something like
A
that.
year, 2 years?
I know Kaylee Koku's got a new show coming out this fall.
Yeah, and she's doing the voice acting for Harley
Yeah.
Quinn. But Jim Parsons, I think he's doing voice snippets for Young Sheldon.
Yeah, but those I think are by choice because those guys were making like 20 million an episode towards the end.
Yeah, they were
I
making
mean,
ridiculous.
syndicated shows are one thing that's a little bit different. I mean, like look at Seinfeld and The Office, and them sold for like 500 million or something like that for the rights
Look
to
at
be
Friends.
on HBO Max.
Yeah. South Park. Didn't HBO buy South Park for $500 million?
Yeah. Uh,
Something like that. They bought the rights to show old episodes of South Park.
Well, I mean, it goes back to like even like take the top rappers, right? Like
Yeah.
Dr. Dre is the highest earning rapper of all time, mainly because he owned 1/3 of Beats, and that sold to Apple for $1 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in one shot, he made $300 million basically.
Yeah.
And but again, these are the extreme ends of the conversation, right?
Yeah.
And then when you get to these points, sometimes you get taken advantage by the accountants. They put in bad investments. They take money here and there. It's just things go crazy. I mean, look at Wesley Snipes and his tax evasion. And then you have other people who do it. They become president. And not to get political,
You had to bring that up.
but I'm just saying, like,
You had to bring that up.
but
That's the note that we should end on.
there you go.
Anyway,
But
that was
so back to circle back, right?
yeah.
We should do firefighter reactions on YouTube are amazing, and we should do a Game of Thrones reaction series.
All right.
And check out the curated boxes. Well, I'll flash that up on the screen one more time.
Yeah, and
basically,
our video will drop tomorrow.
Basically, you choose a package. I'll send out a questionnaire. You fill it, and then I try to make a special box that's special to you, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. I work really hard on these things, so it's crazy because I don't like doing the ones for $80 because the amount of time I put into each one of these boxes is insane.
What do you have? What's your time frame like for person buys it? How long till the questionnaire to how long to the invoice for shipping?
No,
That's something, by the way, that we should mention. So this isn't when you buy a box. This is really important, guys. When you buy a box, because Marco's custom making each of these, he doesn't know how much shipping is going to be. So like we bought ours, it'll say free shipping, but once he builds your box and weighs it, he'll send you an invoice for shipping.
Yeah, because some of the things that could be split into 2 boxes and 2 shipments. Some things could be really heavy. Some things could just, your package could be a normal, just flat rate priority. You know what I mean? And we could add it with your autograph of the month. As far as timeline goes, I've been crazy busy, and I might take a few days off to just kind of reset. I just got Boulder Gate 3 early access.
Ooh.
So I might, give that a shot, for a little bit, take a break. But I don't know.
You definitely deserve one because now it's crazy to think. I think another thing that people don't think about putting out a monthly box is that, you just got the October out.
Right.
And you're going to take, 2-3 days, and then you got to start working on November.
Right. I mean, it would be easier if I had like 300 or 400 subscribers. Then I could do less of the autograph deals and less add-on stuff. And then things could be, I could, that's the part that takes the longest at the end of the month is seeing who gets what, who doesn't get what, like, and then separating them and then printing out the different labels for those. Where if everybody got the same thing, then it's just the same label, just the names and But again, I'm not complaining. It's a living, and I enjoy it.
No, it's awesome, and we're gonna keep pushing, man. I mean, I say it in our video. I'll say it right here. If you're not getting a $20 a month autograph, I don't know what you're doing. So
I don't know what's the price of heroin nowadays. I'm just joking.
It's Starbucks. It's not heroin.
Starbucks. That's what it is. All right.
Starbucks, not heroin.
I can't guarantee that this is more fun. Opening one of my packages is more fun than heroin, but it's definitely healthier.
It is also healthier and more fun than Starbucks.
There you go.
So, anyway, everybody.
That's going to be my new tagline. Might not be as fun as heroin, but much healthier.
And cheaper.
Less dental bill.
There you go.
All right, guys.
Anyway, everybody, as always, go check out Autograph of the Month Club. Our video is dropping tomorrow. I'm going to say probably around 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our video will drop if you are curious to see what all of the variants were. I will tell you right now, once again, there is an autograph that is a grail. So, for me. So, anyway.
All right, guys. Peace.